ආසෙන් ගමන කෙරුණා. මගේ හැමදේ එකට මුසු වූ මගේ නොවන සන්තතිය පිනුණා. කපාමානින් දිත්ති හැටතල මැසු තන්හාවේ සිනිඳු සලු. ලිහා එකිනෙක මනස් ගැඹුරින් සොයා යමි අනිදස්සනීම. මා පොඳවී අනන්තය තුළ මමත්වය ගිලිහුණු විරාමය. අනන්තය තුළ මමත්වය ගිලිහුණු විරාමය. සක්මනේ මිදුනා අලඟ බැඳ පර්යංකෙ යෙදුනා. අනායාසෙන් වැටුණු සතියෙන් මගේ නුවණ මගේ ගොජය පෙනුණා. රකින මානය අපතිත්තිත ගුණය මතුවින. නැතිවෙලා මා සතිය ගිලිහින අතම්මයතාවය රැකින හිම. තුටුව ඒ අමාදිය. මාදියවී නදීනිල්ගුණ සුරන් නොදුටුව ඒ අමාදිය.
Hope you enjoyed the song. Right. And I apologize for kind of inconvenience because of the late starting. Uh, Today, we have to move to the module 3, session 2. Kind of connection problem is there to load the files. I'm unable to get into the slideshow. Just I will go through this way. Right. The module 3 and session 2 in that will be for social behavior and interactions. So again, good evening to everyone. The 4-modular 8-week training, 16 hours, in that we are in the 3rd module. If you can remember, we were talking about last day about diligence and moreover practicing to be at the present moment. So understanding elemental characteristics and extending to loving kindness, empathy, patience, and gratitude. It goes to a kind of way with our inner side, or to go through a kind of emotionally, how do you get into the interactions and to improve the social awareness and the relationships, right? So why it's very important to get into that? um, yes, then the essays of Monday to Friday, the orderly arranged essays. If you have read before, then you can go to the week 6 instructional essays from Sati Pasala instructional essays, and the videos related to these, the science of mindfulness, taking the mind inside, and resistance arising. Resistance arising. I need to open this video. Give me a second to load it.
Now may you sit in a comfortable position and gently close your eyes. Keep your head straight. What I am telling is possible to experience by yourself. As I said, your eyes are gently closed.
Could I know that whether you can hear that? because now we
Yes,
have to.
please, can hear.
All right, thank you so much. Then we will do the practical session before we go to the discussion for the topic today. Then let's start a practice and let's see.
There is no any tension at your eyes. Probably you can feel the eyelids. They are gently closed, touching each other. And you are naturally breathing. Lips are gently touching. You are keeping your tongue at a very restful position, maybe in the middle of the mouth, not making any kind of a pressure using the tongue towards the teeth or towards the gum. There is no any tension throughout the face. There is no any tissue, any muscle has any tension. If you consider the whole straight, and shoulders are also fairly at a restful position. You are not purposely holding them, and hands are kept on your lap in a very restful position. You are not making any effort using hands, and probably you can feel the warmth in between hands, and probably you can feel the pressure at your buttocks. See whether you can feel these touching points, which helps us to ground, come back to the mindfulness. Once you are aware of your position, slowly try to be friendly with the body. There may be various little pains throughout the body, it doesn't matter, but try to be friendly with the body and wholeheartedly be with the body, because body is the entry point and that is the easy access point for our mindfulness practice. So we are maximally utilizing it. See whether what I am telling is possible to experience by yourself. As I said, your eyes are gently closed. There is no any tension at your eyes. Probably you can feel the eyelids. They are gently closed, touching each other. And you are naturally breathing. Lips are gently touching. And you are keeping your tongue at a very restful position, maybe in the middle of the mouth, not making any kind of a pressure using the tongue towards the teeth or towards the gum. There is no any tension throughout the face. There is no any tissue, any muscle has any tension. If you consider the whole straight, and shoulders are also fairly at a restful position. You are not purposely holding them, and hands are kept on your lap in a very restful position. You are not making any effort using hands, and probably you can feel the warmth in between hands. And probably you can feel the pressure at your buttocks. legs are bent, and the soles are touching the ground. So we are in a quite comfortable posture. When compared to the walking posture, sitting posture is comparatively comfortable, more comfortable. See whether you can enjoy it. This feeling of comfort, the feeling at ease, is quite important for the mindful sitting. So when we feel comfortable, so our body has less irritation. As a result, mind also not agitated, not restless. Body is at rest and mind is also at rest. Body also relaxed, mind also relaxed. Now we are trying to observe the body. Try to understand the change. We are not trying to introduce any kind of a person here, but we are trying to recognize various experiences, various feelings, even various thoughts arising in the mind. Like an outsider, we are watching the whole body. Body is sitting, and like an outsider, we are watching it. The body is going through various feelings, we are watching it. The mind is going through various thoughts, we are watching it. Have an open mind. There is no hurry, there is no rush, there is no any preference. We have a quite open mind. You can feel each in-breath, each out-breath. Or you can feel each arising or each rising of the abdomen and each coming back, falling. You allow the process to happen. You are not making any control, any wish, any preference. Rather, we accept the way it is. We allow things to happen. And in a very restful situation, with the attitude of acceptance, we are observing the whole process. If the mind distracts, don't worry about it. Once the mindfulness is established, start from where you are.
You may open your eyes slowly. Hope that you could spend that time of 26 minutes to be yourself, and to know yourself. In why it's important to understand yourself before understanding others, to get into ourselves. Then, as it taught us, as we discussed before, as he takes his limbs inside in that kind of situation, he has a challenge. Then we also become in ourselves and turn into ourselves to get to know about. So is it very important to know about the others? So let's just talk according to your experience so far. What are the different situations that students and teachers experience in class, in the staff room and school? There are different situations. You may have many such experience. Could you apply emotional learning to these situations? Or could you create a better environment in the school or the place where you are working, how it was, and in which way you could apply it? That's the time you can talk about or share your experience. You may raise your hand or you can chat. So in a learning and teaching process, and at a place where you need the interactions between this teacher and student, and to create a kind of learning environment in the classroom or outside. So any other school activities like in assembly or sports events or in the staff meetings and parents teacher meetings, and even in the inter-school sessions like a visit at other places. Could you experience anyway in examination period to prepare the papers, or while you're marking the papers, or in vigilations, in any kind of situations? How could you manage yourself and to deal with the others, and are there any better results you could get? So in any kind of other stressful situations, maybe you're on the way to school, after school, any kind of. So with the huge work stuff and to perform the things, what you have to be success in, to improve the relationships among each other, and at a place where you face it, a conflict, how could you manage? So could you apply emotional learning to these situations? If there are any kind of such experience, we'd like to see your reflect. This is time to discuss. Maybe you have experience, of course, and sometimes though we be panic and we become upset, stressful, of course, if you became mindful to that moment, you will feel that there is nothing to be stressed. There is nothing, of course. And there is no reason to be stressed and be in panic. Everything will be smooth and be nice if you see and accept it in that way, without going to make those things changed much, and without blaming others and yourself. Just be at that moment and face it and accept it in the way. So maybe it's so relaxed, and you can be a kind of person who can find a way to be have a resilience. So it's not protection to protect yourself, of course, from some others. They say someone blames you in front of group. It's maybe, of course, it's not reasonable. Even in your way, it's not reasonable. Then how do you feel it, and how do you deal with it when someone is blaming? And are there such situations you could manage in a better way than before? Before you practice mindfulness, in such situation you may feel like, I need to protect myself, and I need to argue, and I need to show the points that I'm correct. Of course, then struggling in such case, just maybe you had to talk, then you can. If not, just be silent, or to give the time to solve the situation will make a better environment than arguments. Because in kind of such argument, sometimes the broken relationships might not be refilled again. So better to see your inner side and understand the situation. And in which way mindfulness train the brain? So today we, of course, go to that neuroscientific understanding. Scientific understanding will be with a kind of instructions too. So then let's see. I will play the video for you. Hope that it's in Sinhala. So I will give you a time to understand about it. Yes, because it's in another language. So I will talk about the content of this. The science of mindfulness. If you go to understand the way the brain can change through mindfulness, it's really wonderful situation, as the scientists have done the scanning of brain while they are practicing mindfulness, how the hormone change happens, or how this chemical bond or neuron bond of your brain can change due to mindfulness practice. Then they have shown some instances when the mindfulness is practiced, the chemical bond becomes chemical reactions become kind of in a pattern, and also the awareness and understanding, memory, these all are improved in different parts of the brain, like maybe you have heard about the amygdala, which is producing hormones in different situations of our life. So how that hormone will change your behavior? That depends on the way you think. The mind and the brain has been interacted. So of course, it's wonderful that mindfulness can bring a situation of more uh, better connections of neurons in your brain. That's what in this video you can experience. It's available in the website of Sati Pasala. Yes, as you know that the current situation in the world, which is always focusing on the physical development of the people, and it doesn't talk about the happiness or inner peace of the people and the way they can manage themselves. It's just focusing on the development of physical or materialism. But mindfulness emerged in the West as a treatment. They have realized that it's a kind of preventive measure for physical and mental health issues. In finally, they have done more researches along with the mindfulness, and they have learned from the Asian people. Of course, the roots of Asia is with mindfulness, and they have in Asian people, you have heard about the most most developed civilizations in Asia were improved through mindfulness, but later with the Europeans' influence, it has been reduced. And because they have introduced different types of methods to reduce our mindfulness, of course. Anyway, finally, they have found that for the problems they find in, especially in younger generations in the world, in their behavior and social connections, managing emotional way of life, then they have found this as the treatment to prevent it, not as a treatment, of course, it's a preventive measure. Then before it becomes a treatment, we can use it as a preventive measure. In many countries where the developed education is found, they use it. So usually our mind is full of thoughts and it's scattered and wandering to the past and future. It doesn't focus on the present moment. That's the way we usually live. So then keep in mind in this present moment. Now, I'm here now. So then you will understand yourself. Of course, very simply, how hard is it to keep the mind at focusing on one thing? So the same thing might happen to the others too. So in that way, we are unable to blame anyone and to show others, um, to point others' mistakes. So if you understand yourself, it's very easy to understand the others too. So as mentioned before, the nervous system changes with mindfulness, changes of endocrine system and cellular level and chromosomes, and until the DNA, this mindfulness can work in it. Then they say that even the genes might be influenced by mindfulness practice. So in that way, now they are practicing in the places where medical officer of public health in Sri Lanka with the parents, those who are expecting child or babies, the pregnant mothers, and the both parents are taken into the practice, and they have a kind of experience what they have gained through practicing mindfulness. They have shared, and we can know about that. Of course, how do they feel the child, the mothers, how they feel the child's moments and feeling better in their physical health and mentality, and in the home, how they improve their relationships, everything they have shared. That's, of course, it comes with the practice only, not by listening to this, just by practicing. As another benefit, it will increase the immunity of anyone, and the stress will be reduced. Always we could manage anger, and not only anger, maybe you have other all kind of distractions of your mind could be identified as well as manage them. Neuroplasticity is a kind of big topic they talk about in science of mindfulness. It may be simply say the repairing, the possibility of repairing of the neurons in your brain is of course done when the mindfulness is practiced. Maybe you have heard that before about this synaptic connections, what I said, like a chemical connection between the neurons is improved by good hormones, which is released by the brain. So that's so, of course, it's amazing to know about that, the positive changes in the network of 80 billion neurons and rewiring of the neural network, the growth, repair, and building resistance in neurons to reorganize the networks of neurons, creating new synapses and neural pathways or circuits in it. that ability to grow neurons was not accepted by before. Then they said that it doesn't happen. But now they believe that by practicing mindfulness, this neuroplasticity is being improved. It stimulates biological changes in the body, including the brain and nervous system changes, changes in the endocrine system, and changes at cellular level, chromosomes and DNA. Now we know about some of those hormones. We can categorize into good and bad according to the way they support us. Then, of course, melatonin will help you to sleep, and serotonin will help you to keep you happy. Like GABA will be a kind of calm creating hormone, and endorphins may energize you, and DHEA for better lifespan, and growth hormone will keep you your youth for a time. So on the other hand, the bad hormones like cortisol, which can increase your stress. So while you are becoming stressed, now than good hormones, I like to talk about these two, cortisol and adrenaline. Usually when you get stress and anger, you may feel the differences, what happens in your own body, your head especially, how that can keep your head like heated, and it's like tighten up, and your throat is also paining, your ears are paining, eyes are paining. The pain you get will be felt by you. So what happens, of course, these hormones can change into that. So if it is, it will increase in disease, NCDs also, non-communicable diseases like blood sugar, cholesterol, pressure. These diseases are increased. Then you have a chance now. Practicing mindfulness, you have a chance to reduce those NCDs in your life, for having a kind of free time by going to the doctor and of suffering of those diseases. We can see a majority of elderly aged people in our population now, they are suffering with these diseases. Maybe that their lifestyle has been changed than before. If you go to our little age, you may remember that the people who were in elderly age, they were so happy, and they were so very simple. Their lifestyle was very simple, as well as they were so healthy. Then what we can do now, at least if we start now, it's not late. It's not late yet. Now you can start. Just now we can start. For more about the DNA, then the mindfulness, the benefit of that practicing, it goes up to the DNA. Telomere lengthens through mindfulness practice, as the research say, and it reduces dementia and increase the lifespan. So then that is a kind of good benefit without paying anything. It's so freely available. Yes, before I mentioned about amygdala, which is releasing harmful hormones into the brain, and prefrontal cortex in our brain will keep controlling emotions, improving memory, knowledge, creativity, knowing what is right or wrong, making right choice or decisions making, or self-control, personality. All these are done through mindfulness. The hippocampus is a small part in your brain which can keep your memory in, that has a kind of layer which can keep yes, yeah, that hippocampus has gray matter around it that's reduced by practicing mindfulness. Then what happens? The connection of neurons of hippocampus with the other parts of the brain is improved by reducing that gray matter, or the uh, outer cover of hippocampus is being open to the other parts, or that neuron connection. It's of course improving the memory. So then the prefrontal cortex is with the role of keeping the knowledge, planning, and organizing those actions. So of course, now it's not only for the children, for the adults also. It's a very big benefit we can gain through. Then calmness and comfortable sleep, then stress reduction, management of emotions, increasing memory and creativity, achieving goals, and self-realization and self-control, emotional learning. Then interpersonal relationships are also developed, the good relationships. Then benefits of mindfulness practicing, the life of parents and teachers. Now, in many discussions, they have shown that not only the children, now parents and teachers are also becoming stressed, and their comfort has gone. They have no more calm relationship with the others. So how do you improve that? So they have hours and hours seminars, talks, discussions regarding this. But who practice it? That's the matter. So we talk, but we don't practice until we start. It's not late. Just now we can start. So too, if we need any kind of such better environment, so may you practice. Right, as I mentioned before, it's about more awareness. Do you have any idea about this then? Let's talk. So as a practitioner, maybe you are still starting. Of course, we are also, we all should practice as a very young child, or honestly, to be a child to practice. Otherwise, if we think like, oh, we have practiced before, now we don't want to practice, now we are elderly people, we know how to do that, and we have all the knowledge about it. So practice is something else. It's not for us, like when it doesn't work. What we have to do whenever you could find a time, whenever, maybe it's very busy time, very stressful time, that's the time to start practice. Honestly, humbly, that's the time to practice. Just be at the present moment. Whatever you do, wherever you are. So no need to search for new things, new physical items to make you happy. Some new sceneries to make you happy now. New physical items to keep your happiness up. Nothing. So just as you are, just as you accept the things as it is, will make you that. Hope that you have tried with children or with the workplace to have kind of mindful game. If you could, please share your experience. Have you ever done this? Then when you're not happy, so you may not feel happy, so you're very tired and you don't want to talk with the others, you don't want to interact, you just need to be alone like you will feel. Then have you ever thought about yourself at that moment? How am I now? What do you feel now? What am I feeling now? Are there any differences of my own body, especially in the head or shoulders? Could you feel something? Maybe in your even in digestive system, even you will feel some differences when you are stressed. Normally it happens. So have you felt any kind of and when you are happy, have you ever find out how am I now? Maybe when you're happy, you don't want to think of that, but just when you're feeling happiness, even just look at it. Just look at it. Then once you found that, oh, I was not mindful to the moment. So then blaming, then being your own justice, better understand, try to understand, yes, I was not mindful and I could not keep my attention. That's okay, totally fine. Just now I can start it. So then let's do in another way. Looking inside happens when mindful. Looking outside happens when not mindful. How long could you keep mind inside? So just keep attention. My mind goes here and there. My mind goes to past. With the present moment, even what you feel will take something from the past. Will take it into the future. As an example, when you are sitting, maybe you remember something you could not do before. Now I have to do that. Oh, now your mind goes through along with that memory. So what I have to do next? Maybe you feel that. So you may feel like you are sweating. So you are sweating. Then you think, oh, I should have a wash after this. Like you go to the future then. So with the present moment, some memories, some concepts are attached with, come to your mind. Then to know about that is the diligence. To know about that. That's now we are there. Now I am here. In Pali, it's called apramada. Appamada. So then stillness in body and mind will have to look inside ourselves. That's very amazing thing, of course. Why this touch, the touch of your body, the smell, the what you hear, what you see, what you taste, what you touch. Then all these are very supportive to keep the mindfulness inside. That's why it's always talking about to be inside your body. So maybe as your experience, it will be walking, making you more mindful, or some will experience in sitting. Then walking, you can keep your mindset in sitting. Some may have in daily activities than sitting or walking. It depends on your own practice. Right. So then, how long? Of course, if you can write your experience in a notebook every day, how long I could keep my mind in that experience, and how could I feel it? Like your experience will be changing daily. It changes daily. While your thoughts are arising, the way you identify them becomes change. Not like before. Then while you are sitting, how your mind changes, what are the thoughts coming? Now you see them like you are looking at a mirror. But before, it took time to identify that you are now dreaming. Or your mind has gone so far. It took time to identify that. But now it's not. With the practice, it's very easy to identify whether you are inside or outside. That's called diligence. So then, every moment and every breath is counting. You can understand that by being observing, be a good observer. It's a kind of invitation to be an observer. And always keep glad games. It's very hard situation, still you can find something which can make you happy and relax. So you will start arising resistance by increasing the ability to reflect, to recall, and seeing the faults of the others, but not to judge, of course. Right? As a mindful practitioner, you can see the faults of others, but you don't become a judge of them. Then irritated with others, not being mindful. That's also then it's of course not needed to be sad or worried about the others when they are not mindful and they make kind of problems on you, and to blame them. Sometimes, of course, you have to be humble Uh, mm, in myself, it was the same before. So by practicing, I had a chance, but they did not. So you can understand, and if you could make them aware, or if you could convince it, not just by as a instructor, but as an example, if you could show that, they will get it. Yes, there are some games to deal with irritation. Um, so then the patience, if you talk about the patience, it's not keeping something pressed, of course, to accept. Patience means here accept the things in that way and practice it. If you keep yourself pressed out, or it will improve your depression, of course, then better to keep attention the way they are happening, when the things are happening. Then find the right time and place to resolve issues, because we have to wait for that, wait for the right time, and we can't be panic. So it will create a kind of better relationships also, as well as kind of self-discipline. Self-discipline to keep our emotions, manage ourselves. Then you may not see others are hurting you, so others can't hurt you. That doesn't happen anymore. When once you face kind of uncomfortable incidents with the others, when you are dealing with the others, so no need to worry, because it's just a moment. It goes again. That moment doesn't come again. It has gone. That's the past. And sometimes we make stories with the things what happened and with the things what we have experienced. We make stories and be in the story for hours and hours. And all that time we have missed the present moment, which is the most precious time, has been gone. Anyway, another problem comes and cover up that past thing. Then when the other problems come, we have to be at that moment and identify it as a kind of thing which can be changed. Of course, in leadership practitioner, in your school or maybe working place, if you are practicing leadership with the co-workers or the students, this is a very big thing. You can show them to identify your own emotion before you go to lead others. So if you're going to become a boss, that the boss is not a good leader. Boss is kind of person who is showing up the things what he can do, but what, of course, he doesn't do that. Then a good leader will always be behind the screen and make the others motivated. So then becoming a boss to them, if you could be a leader who can have empathy, and if you are altruistic, Yes, then if you are not selfish, so then it will be through mindfulness only. That will be in any way if you practice mindfulness. So how would you build a stable mind through mindfulness practice? To keep your mind at focusing in one thing for how long you could be. So anything you need to share with, there is a valuable video. It's in Sinhala, given by Dr. Rashita at the psychology and counseling course, which is held in Kaduela, Sati Pasala. It's available in Sati Pasala website, as well as Dr. Pushpakumar video about the neuroplasticity, which was shown before, all are available there. So I just invite you to go to the website and search for that. Now, I'm not playing the video. What he's explaining will be just discussed here. Self-awareness, what we were talking about, to identify your own emotions, the way you act, the way you behave, the way you have your own thoughts. If it is done, so you will be a stable self. So you are not shaken by the others' words or others' reactions. There you know how to manage your emotions and to cope your stress. Physically and psychologically, you are a stable person. That will help you to improve awareness about the others, empathy, to value the others' ideas. They have different ideas, to understand that difference, and to improve effective communication and interpersonal relationships will improve stable relationships. Stable relationships are bringing up the social awareness. We call that social emotional learning. I know that you have heard about SEI, social emotional learning. Then that stable relationship will make you a creative thinker, a good decision maker, and critical thinker, and your awareness is improved. In that way, the stable mind is established. There, effective problem solving and effective decision making. Then no matter how others think of you, that might be different because everyone doesn't have the same way of stable self. It's not a matter. Then worrying about the others, how they think of us, how it matters. Of course, to be yourself and understand others and to help them is better than struggling to create your name or reputation. So that's nice to make it slowly, mindfully, and silently. You can create that yourself to be self-aware and to be empathetic and to have a stable relationships while having stable mind. So what you would call social emotional learning. So I have to go to the reflecting. There is another mindful practice, of course, but I think it's better to go for reflecting now. Mindful sitting, as we did before, if you could have any different experience than before, then now in 5th week of practicing, what you could experience? Could you identify something better than before? Or you could keep your mind at a kind of way, a stable way. Then are there any other techniques you could find out to practice yourself? You can share with the others. So I suggest you to have a time for mindful walking every day. In this schedule, the schedule, I will remind again the Monday's program and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, how you can make your own schedule. Mindful in the present moment, Monday and Tuesday in sitting, Wednesday in walking, and Thursday day-to-day work, and Friday glad games. So it's not bounded or limited to these days, as you know that. And to go through the teacher's instruction manual, chapter 1 to 7, and to read out the book by Venerable Nyanaponika Thero, The Power of Mindfulness and the Heart of Buddhist Meditation. Just a reminder, and also please go to my point, the link, maybe you have already got it, and share your experience as well as your lesson plans if you have them already made, or if you have any suggestions for according to your subject or according to the experience you gain through the working with children. You are invited to keep all those records and share. So then the practice, further practice, slowly, mindfully, and silently, and to keep your mind under your control, like not to allow to be the master to your mind. You can master your mind, your brain. So you become the master of your brain, your mind. Now you, as we discussed before, you heard about the neuroplasticity, the awareness improvement and the memory improvement, and about your health, physical health, mental health. We talk about that it's a kind of system which can be improved through mindfulness. If any ideas to get into the stage now before we are winding up? Miss Nirasha, are you there? Anything is there to share with? Right. If you are having any kind of suggestions or any ideas or any experience to share, please use the links of the Google documents. Thank you so much for being with us for this time, and hope that you will practice further and improve yourself. Now, next day we will talk something different and also improve your fitness. Okay. Yes, of course, there are many other links. If you can go to the website of Sati Pasala to improve your awareness. It's, of course, I personally, I got that to deal with the children, those are very busy and noisy in the classroom. When after I know that about the neuroscientific background of mindfulness, it helped me a lot to manage with them. Then just being stressed in the classroom and help them to manage. It's a kind of support we can give them because they are also helpless, of course. If you see them in that way, if you see them that they have kind of mindset and brain which can be changed, not by blaming or punishing them physically or mentally. We have a big role in that, and it helped me a lot understand that by knowing about this neuroscientific background. I think that anyone will gain it, and please go through them. And there are some videos, if I could share with you, the psychological counseling program, which was shared in YouTube. There is a channel of YouTube, 9 videos by Sati Pasala. There, the doctors and practitioners are sharing their knowledge, and they, of course, they practice at the time, and you will be more confident with that. It's a kind of suggestion if you could go to that psychological and counseling. Okay, right. Right. Thank you so much for being then. Okay, then have a nice day and be mindful. Let's meet next Sunday at the same time, hopefully without delay. Right. Thank you so much. So